Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 6 of Eromanga-Sensei, and sorry, this seems kind of late, but for me at least, I was trying to find the subs all yesterday and I could not find it until, to the point I was just like, you know what, I gotta go sleep already, so I'm gonna sleep and I'll watch it in the, the next day. Finally, next day comes and I find it subbed. I'm not too sure if it was found somewhere else before this, but I couldn't find it from where I normally go and watch my anime, so yeah. Sorry for this being late if you saw it way before, but that's my reasoning behind it. But yeah, how did I feel about this episode? Well, I really enjoyed it. There was a ton of funny moments, and we get introduced to finally the final main character of our show that I've been wondering when is she going to show up for the longest time since we saw her in the opening, Of course, the first part, obviously, we get to see, I thought there would be more of Tomoe in this, episode and everything. But it was pretty funny to see her just get super pissed off at Megumi, as you saw in the last episode, pretty much her calling it creepy, otaku novels. Yeah, you don't do that, Megumi. You do not do that. But of course, Tomoe's like, you know what? I'm gonna convert her. It's time for the conversion plan. To which, of course, it really does work when she ends up giving her a shitload of light novels, and they're pretty much like all the most popular ones. And to the point where after she calls Masamune and full on like, when is the next, the next sequels for all of these gonna come out? You're an Arthur, right? Hurry up and tell all of them to stop being lazy. I was cracking. I was like, yeah, he would not be able to do that for one thing. Even if he was a popular Arthur, but he's not like the biggest Arthur out there, so he's definitely, no one's gonna listen to him saying that, But it is funny too because she completely forgot the whole reasoning behind her even reading those light novels, which was of course to have, similar, likes and hobbies just like, Sakiri has. And she completely forgot that until Masamune ends up telling her. It was also pretty funny when Masamune's like, oh, did you read that one book I gave you? Which is of course his book. And she was like, it was okay. It was like, it was iffy or something like that. I forget what she said exactly, but I was cracking up. I was like, I knew she was going to say that about his book. Poor Masamune. But later on, of course, she ends up going to the house. I saw this before I got spoiled from someone showing it. But of course, we see her blindfolded, her hands tied together as well. And that's the only way Sagiri will, of course, see her. And Sagiri's just like full on pervert mode, just like, heavy breathing, drawing, looking underneath her skirt and everything. I'm like, damn, Sagiri, what's going on? I feel sorry for Megumi, but it was pretty funny to see. Bashful Megumi is just honestly super cute, I'll have to say, and I was just like, oh, so that's her kind of personality. Even Masamune like full on, called it out, saying that she's the kind of person that dresses like that and acts like that, as she just does it, but she doesn't really, obviously, she actually isn't really experienced and isn't like that at all, to the point where she's like, no, I've even seen a dick. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she actually said that once again, like the last time we saw it, the very first time we saw her, and her saying that. And then of course, right at that moment Sagi just goes, whoop, let me see these pantsuit. And she just like, like literally, I don't know, I honestly couldn't even handle it. I was cracking up so hard when that happened. I was like, I can't believe Sagiri just did that right there and then. Masamune's in the room as well, so it's not like there's no one. It's not like how, Elf was. They didn't know he came back yet, but looks like, once again Sagiri's got another pair of pantsuit. That she got more. Of course, she even tried to hide it in her pocket from Megumi, but overall, it was pretty surprising how fast they became friends. Because, I thought, like, Sagiri would have been more against it, even, like, laying her in the room, even if it's because she wants to draw her. But, hey, Sagiri makes a new friend. Megumi gets some new books and finds out Sagiri's a, super pervert, pretty much. But, hey, new friends is new friends, I guess, right? So, pretty enjoyable part for that, honestly. It was pretty funny to see the moments between Sagiri and, of course, Megami in this episode, this part. Too bad we didn't get to see as much with Tomoe. I want to see more of her as well. But of course, that's where we get to the second part of this episode, where we get to see our favorite elf, of course. Like, it's pretty crazy because before I was like full on Megami and I still like her character, but I'm really enjoying Elf as well, and it's just so adorable seeing them go on a like pretty much a date and everything. And she's like, oh, it's not really a date though, but you could I'll allow you to fantasize about it, you know, full on tsundere moment. And if you guys didn't know anything about me, I love tsunderes, and that's why I kind of am liking Elf a lot as well. And of course, she even like tweets it out saying, "Oh, on a date with him," and like I'm like, what if he looks that up and sees that, you know? But it's pretty funny how once again Masamune first he calls, you know, he calls out Megumi on what she is, and now he calls out, you know, pretty much Elf on her being a tsundere writer to her fans and everything, and she even's like, no, I'm not like that, and then full on goes tsundere mode, and she catches herself as well, which just makes it 10 times more funny. And I was literally just cracking up. I was like, man, Masamune, you are on point this day. Like, what the hell? This episode, he's literally on point. Of course, other than that, we get a discussion of who, you know, the last main character is, which her name is Muramasa, super close to Masamune, obviously. And, you know, we get to see how she's pretty much, even Sagiri just full on telling her brother off that, you know, pretty much an upgrade in every single way. So poor Masamune. But of course, you know, he wants to, of course, get, you know, his book published because of the whole thing. We find out pretty much that if he doesn't, you know, isn't a successful author throughout the whole year and everything, then his aunt will pretty much not allow them to live the way they're living, which pretty much probably means that they will be split apart. So obviously both Sagiri and, you know, Masamune don't want that to happen, so Masamune goes out to try and figure a way to, of course, publish his works elsewhere, to which, of course, his publisher, I forget what her name is, or his advisor, pretty much like, nope, you can't do that, you know. But she has a plan, of course. She's been thinking of something, and that is, of course, to make him join this light novel competition, pretty much what it is. But normally you would have to be a rookie, so he ends up signing it down because she says she'll allow it. But this is the part where I'm like, no, that is definitely not allowed, because we find out that girl who seems timid and everything, and Elf's full on in her face like, hey, I sold like this much copies. If you sell above a million of someone, then you can say whatever you want, pretty much. And of course, obviously, Muramasa sells way more than her, so I can't wait to see in the next episode, because you see the reaction of Masamune, but you don't see the reaction of Elf that much. I want to see her just get super pissed, or, you know, Muramasa to say something to Elf's face, and just honestly, the reactions is always the best thing. And you know for a fact Elf is going to make this crazy reaction like, whoa, 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 I'm still better than you, or something along those lines, you know. Like, I don't really care about sales, some bullshit kind of tsundere thing that she normally would do, you know. But when she signed that thing, I was full on like, no, she cannot do that, because sure, you know, Masamune, he's not as popular as the other authors and everything, so, you know, he still can be maybe put into this, you know, rookie competition, but there's no way in hell, if this person is better than not only Masamune, but also more than Elf, there's no way that she'll be able to, you know, get into this competition. Or maybe she just signed it just to show off who she really is. But of course, you see that there's some crazy hate between her and Masamune, that she doesn't want Masamune to get what he wants because it interferes with her dream, to which, of course, you know, we still don't really know what it is. But overall, it adds some new flavor to the show that I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen, you know? Because at first it seemed like there was going to be the rivalry between Elf and, of course, Masamune. That, of course, didn't really, you know, it's not really a rivalry anymore. It's more of, obviously, she, you know, that part where she's like, that's why I love you. I was full on like, oh, Elf, you can't do that to him. You can't do that to me either. Of course, she ends up denying it after. Like, that's not like that, but yeah, like that. But that's why it's like, oh, okay, so there's not some heated rivalry anymore. Here's your rivalry moment. Can't wait to see more of Muramasa, as we didn't really get to see that much of her. She started off timid and then came out like just full on like, I'm not gonna let you get away with that. You're not gonna get what you want, kind of thing. I'm like, holy shit, this is like a complete 360. I don't even know who this person is, but I guess that's how most of them are, actually. That is pretty funny, because they come off, you know, seeming one way, like, you know, how Megumi is like, you see how she's super teasing and all this kind of stuff, and then you see how super bashful she's actually is, and then you see how Elf was like super like she's better than everyone, but then you actually see how she's, you know, can be differently as well. It's pretty interesting to see how each character starts off one way and then complete 360s the other way. So I can't wait to see if that, you know, ends up being the same with Muramasa, and if she ends up becoming part of, you know, his harem as well, because so far he's got a whole bunch of girls in it, and she's the last main one that's not in it at the moment. So yeah, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen in the next episode. Overall, pretty damn enjoyable episode. We got to see a little bit of Tomoe. Want to see more of her, honestly, because we didn't get to see as much. Got to see a bunch of Megumi, which it was pretty damn cute to see her being all bashful, and get to see pervert Sagiri coming in as well. Then of course we got to see a little date with Elf, which I actually really enjoyed. That part was really like my favorite part of the, you know, episode probably. I'm just really honestly enjoying Elf's character. And then of course the big reveal of the last character, Muramasa, and this heated rivalry that's going to be started up now. And we of course are in like the midpoint of the season, so I can't wait to see how everything progresses in the rest of this season. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free, comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And as always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What did you guys think about this episode? Good or bad? Either way, I want to hear it. So feel free to comment below in the comments down whatever you want to talk about that happened in this episode, of course. No spoilers as always. And yeah, if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And until next time, guys, see ya.